Hello friends and welcome to this lesson. In the last lesson, we were doing preparation to start structuring our presentation. So in our preparation, we have talked about our objectives and we have also spoken about who our audience is and what would be their expectations from this presentation that we are trying to create. So based on that, we are trying to create our roadmap and a skeletal structure based on which we would be able to craft a wonderful presentation. So let's see what we have to do in order to start structuring our presentation. Now, the first stage, as we said, was preparation. Now we'll structure. Once we are through with structure, we'll have a couple of more lessons on structuring. Then we'll go to slides. So that is going to be the time when we actually create our presentation slides. So my dear friends, everything in life requires a structure. A day requires a structure. A home requires a structure. An organization requires a structure. A piece of communication requires a structure. A story, a novel, a movie script, you name it, everything requires a structure. So your presentation also requires a structure and a clear path. If you don't have a structure or a clear path, then your presentation is going to go here, it's going to go there, it's going to go everywhere. And when your presentation goes everywhere, it goes nowhere. So if something is going to go here, there, and everywhere, it's actually going to go nowhere. So if you want your presentation to go somewhere, then you have to create what we call a good structure. So a well structured story, a well structured novel, a well structured textbook, a well structured lecture, a well structured film script becomes more appealing, has greater chances of reaching its aim or objective of being successful. So, if you want your presentations to be successful, then don't forget to structure your presentation before you create your slides. So, once you have structured your preparation before you create your slides, that structure is going to help you to create great slides that will meet your mark, meet your target, that will make you reach your conclusion or objective. So, my dear friends, remember this structuring part. Don't shy away from this. Don't feel you're wasting your time. Actually, you're saving your time and your audience's time. Because if you take pains to structure your presentation well, then all the work that you do on subsequent things, that is creating your slides and then making the presentation, will be well utilized. Otherwise, you'll waste your time and you'll waste your audience's time. So don't do that. Spend time on this segment. I don't want you to learn in the air, I told you. So I'm going to take up an example and teach you exactly how to structure. So through that demonstration, you'll understand what structuring means and what I mean by structuring. So don't worry about it, my dear friends. We need to signpost our presentation. As I said, we need a structure and we need a path. So for this presentation, can you see my signposting? These are the stages in the presentation where I've put milestones or signposts, because a milestone is a signpost which tells you where you have reached. Here also, you have reached the second part, which is structuring. Then we have three more parts left in this course. So this signposting, this division into segments or sections, this keeps the presentation on track. This is the path you follow, and this is the path on which you take your audience so that they are able to go through the course in a structured way and reach the destination you want them to reach. So this is very important. So you'll also be able to create an overall framework. So first we create a skeletal framework and then we fill that with details. It's like modern day buildings where first you create a framed structure. You put all your, after putting your foundation, etc. in place, you put your columns and beams. That is your frame, that is your frame structure. Now I can fill in with details. So I can put walls and other stuff wherever I want so that I have freedom to create spaces the way I want. So this is how we are going to go about presentations also. We are going to create a structure and then we are going to fill in the details into the structure. Now, dear friends, everything should have a clearly defined beginning, a well defined middle, and an end. And the beginning, middle, and end should all be coherently, cohesively entwined, webbed together, woven together, so that they act as one unit. They are not separate, they are not acting independent of each other, they are one unit, like one body. So initially in the introduction we say what we are going to say. So we introduce the topic, we tell them about the context, and then we say what we have come to say. So we actually then discuss everything, explain everything, and then in the end we put everything into a nutshell and give it to the audience to take home. So this is how we are going to structure our presentation, friends. Now there are more lectures on structuring before we move on to creation of slides. So first let's finish our structure, and then once we have completed our structure, we are going to go on to creating our slides. So friends, thank you very much for watching this lecture, and I'm going to see you in the next. All the best.